To install the panel in your Photoshop application, eMAM provides an installation helper called App Manager. Click on the App Manager icon on your desktop and then click on the Start Setup button. Enter the eMAM server details and click on the Save and Continue button. From the list of eMAM applications displayed, click on the Install button for Photoshop CC. The installation process will begin. You will be prompted to give the Adobe Extension Manager permission to proceed with the installation. Once the installation is complete, you will see the extension installed successfully message. You are now ready to open the Photoshop application. Launch the Photoshop application. Open a new or existing Photoshop document. From the Adobe Photoshop top menu panel, go to Windows, then Extensions, then eMAM to open up the eMAM panel. After a while, the eMAM panel will open up and ask you to enter your eMAM server URL details. Replace the default server URL details with your eMAM server name and click on OK. Now log in to the eMAM panel using the eMAM login credentials provided by your eMAM unit administrator and click on Go. Use the Change Server button to change the server details. The Adobe panel opens up in Adobe Photoshop as shown below. By default, the Assets tab is displayed. Using this Settings button, you can define where the Photoshop document needs to be stored when it is exported back to eMAM. You can select from any of the storage profiles in the drop-down list configured in the Super Admin console. Browse and select the local path for assets, which is used to store the localized image files and PSD files. Browse and select the local path for export, which is used to store the flattened thumbnail and proxy files for uploading them into the eMAM storage system. Here's how to import into Photoshop from the eMAM panel. Select single or multiple image assets under the Assets tab and click on Import as a new layer. After a while, when all assets are imported successfully, the message below appears. Imported files get displayed as layers in the Photoshop doc. Once you've completed your desired edits on the Photoshop document and have saved your changes, your final output is ready. In the eMAM Photoshop panel, click on the Save button to save and export the PSD file back to eMAM. Fill in the details under each tab before export. Under the Categories tab, enable the desired category checkboxes you wish to assign this Photoshop doc to. Under the Tags tab, click and choose from the listed tags or add new tags and click on the plus button. Under this tab, select the metadata set from the drop-down list and fill in the metadata fields. Once all the details are filled, click on OK on the top right-hand side corner of the page. Click Cancel to discard the changes. After a while, once the export is successfully completed, the below message appears. You can now find the final exported Photoshop document listed as a PSD file under the Assets tab. Log into eMAM's web interface to make sure your Photoshop document made it back into the system. Learn more at emamcloud.com and emamsolutions.com.